up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. We are back. Also, too, I want to make an announcement. If you want to be notified when we go live, text Wiley to 888-534-4939. You can text Wiley to 888-534-4939. You can sign up to the text list. You will never miss a live when we go live. So I definitely want to say special shout out to you all. Give me a second. Let me log out of my Instagram real quick because I'm getting these notifications. It's going to be over and over, like notifications. So let me log out real quick because I don't want to keep getting those notifications. Good morning. Well, y'all come on in the room. How y'all doing? I want to say good morning to the y'all that's in here. Good morning. So I definitely send my condolences that were happening in Uvalde, Texas, with those students that lost their life, those children that lost their life. 2 teachers lost their life as well. So I believe the count is up to 19 children lost their lives as well as 2 teachers. I do send my condolences to the families. When I got the news, I was deeply disturbed, hurt, tears, just like, oh my gosh, I have nieces and nephews in school, and you don't want to get a phone call that something have happened to your loved one. And I'm definitely sending my prayers. What happened in Buffalo. It's just like it's one after another. But let's get serious. We need serious gun control in this country. This country is just out of hand, just out of control when it comes to these guns. Now, I don't know how you can be able to get a gun at 18 years old. And then in order to rent a car, and most of the car rental places, you got to be 25. I do believe they need to increase the age to own a weapon to 25 years old. I do believe if you have a felony, you should not be able to have a gun. I do believe that if you have mental illness, you should not be able to own a gun. I do believe that if you have a felony or domestic dealing with domestic violence, I believe that you should not be able to own a weapon in this country. We are the only country out of all the countries in the world that are dealing with these mass shootings. And it's really sad. It's disturbing that this is going on. Our governor here in Texas, about a couple of years ago, he was saying that we are behind California when owning guns. So we're going to get some major we're going to change the legislation, and which he did, meaning that you can own a gun in Texas without having without having a license to carry. You don't need any training. You could just own a gun in the state of Texas. We do believe that we do need different leadership when it comes to our, in here in Texas, as well as many other these states that believe that we have to vote these people out of office, and we need new people to come in office, because it's just ridiculous that you can be disturbed 18 years old and commit a crime. And now these families have to grieve their loved ones, have to grieve their babies, have to grieve not be able to see them again. It was a teacher, I think she was a 4th grade teacher, that lost her life in that massacre, and her husband got the news and he had a heart attack and he's no longer with us. So we do need serious gun control legislation. We do seriously need that in this country, because when you look at other countries, whether it's Canada is like next door to us. They don't have these mass shootings like we have here in America. And so we definitely need serious gun control in it. And so we are definitely ask you all to go out there, vote, register if you haven't. Make sure you vote if you have not done so. In many of these different cities, you can win. They're running these primaries. Make sure you are part of that, and make sure you put people in there that will believe in protecting our children, protecting our future, because the children is our future. And so we definitely put that out there to people that are out there that's listening. We definitely need that. So I cried. I was in my bed just weeping, because I'm like, this is a avoidable problem. we can increase the age to about 30. I even took it up 25, like minimum age 25 years old to own a weapon in this country, and that you should have training. It should be a course that you have to take a training. Just like in order to own a driver's license, you don't get in a car without taking a driver's course. In all the states, you have to take a test in order to get a license. Nowhere in this country you could just go to the DMV and get a license without training. You have to get some type of training in order to get a driver's license. Now, we have that much sense of operating a car. We must have that same mindset with operating a weapon in this country. Because when you go to by example, on a car, you can't go like, well, I don't need no training. Just give me my license. No, they're not gonna give you a license if you don't have a training. If you constantly have car accidents, you constantly if you're driving while impaired, you lose your license. You don't if you keep getting DUIs, you get your license suspended. We need to have that same mindset when it comes to when it comes to owning a gun in this country. Republicans need to do a better job by passing this by passing massive common sense gun control laws in this country. Just common sense. 90% of Americans believe in background checks, universal background checks. 95% of Americans believe in that. 90% of Americans believe that we should have put statutes and laws in place to protect our loved ones, right? And so I was watching the news and I was seeing our Governor Abbott, greatly disturbing to me is that you sit in this press conference and you keep speaking about mental health, but yet you cut money to mental health services. I'm not understanding how can you preach to the people talking about mental health and you're cutting back funding for people that need mental health. So I just don't understand it. I think there needs to be mandatory classes, and for you to take classes in order to own a weapon. Like I said, we need to make it from 18 to 25 years old because you cannot rent a car unless you're 25. I believe most rental car places don't even rent out unless you're 25 years old. So that should be the minimal age. And we should ban assault weapons. We should not have in this country where you can own an AK-47 in this country. That should be banned in this country. I mean, come on. You have more firepower than the police. That should be banned having AK-47s in this country. That should be banned. And when I'm talking about an extensive background check that the FBI uses, need to be an extensive background check. So of course, we will open up the phone lines and we will allow you all to call in to give your thoughts about all of this. But I am definitely hurt. I am angry that yet again we are grieving. I remember what happened at Sandy Hook and how I just broke down in tears at work. It's really sad. What happened in the Pulse nightclub that brought me to tears. When all those people lost their lives, we need serious gun control in our country, and we definitely need it because this country is not heading in the right direction. So hopefully, the Republicans get with the Democrats and pass common sense gun control laws in our country. So we will open up the phone lines. We'll allow you all to call in. All right. If you want to be notified, text Wiley to 888 534-4939. So make sure you all text Wiley, just one word, Wiley, to 888-534-4939. You will be notified when I go live. So I'm going to take that down for a second. We're going to get into the mess. We have some news here. Treecey is a YouTuber and she is Lovely T moderator. She have been arrested about a couple of days ago, and she have been released. And I want to get my commentary on that because I was seeing people was happy, was celebrating that she was arrested. They were celebrating having this black woman in jail in Texas They were celebrating this all over, like in the beef sector, and I was hurt that she got arrested because number one, Treecey is a commentator, and she is a lovely team moderator. But I was saying Treecey is a YouTuber commentator, right? And she was arrested. Now, mind you, I was trying to get the details of why she was arrested from people that are in the beef sector, and so they were telling me that she tried to call the police and report somebody, and the police showed up to her place, and then they ran her name, and she had a warrant out for her arrest for harassment because another YouTuber claimed that she has been harassing him all over these YouTube streets. And that's how he went and he got a harassment charge on her. So when you seeing all of this, my heart broke because I'm like, why is Treecey in jail? If that's the case, none of these YouTubers in the B sector need to be in the B sector because they all be going back and forth with each other. And I don't think none of it accounts to harassment because every party in the B sector, they roast and they drag each other. Now you had some people were saying she need to be, be thrown in jail, and I said no, for anything. I've always told Treecey that she should do the news in the beef sector, right? Breaking down the news and doing little small clips, breaking down the news and educating people about the beef sector instead of getting to the beef. I think that works well. When I first got in contact with Treecey, she was doing the news. She was the news reporter of the B sector. So if you did not know anything that went on in the B sector, you would literally research and you would literally, get all the tea of what's going on in the B sector. But unfortunately, that have not happened. Now she is, she gets into the beat, she gets into it with these people. But if she go back to what worked, getting your notebook, breaking down, bringing it all to your channel about who's beefing with who, giving us the news, so an average person that are not in the beef sector can be like, oh my gosh, okay, now I know about this person, I know about that person, I know about this person, because Treecey is breaking down the news in it. So I'm like, this is just doing all of this. Okay, this is absolutely great. But Treecey is a very good person. She is a beautiful black woman, and what she does on her platform is very entertaining. But I just want my sister to get back to what was working for her. Get on camera, break down her news. I was so happy to see her on camera because she's so beautiful. To see this beautiful black woman on camera is just amazing because a lot of times when you're not on camera, people, I like people when they're on camera versus them being not on camera, right? Because I just like it, right? I know you could become a YouTuber without being on camera. I know you could become a YouTuber by doing voiceovers, but I am old school. I like when you come on camera and could do all of this type of stuff when it comes to it, just very, very beautiful. Some people say they don't like um they don't like Treecey for whatever reason. But I say if you don't like Treecey, why watch her content? Most people say they don't watch her or don't like her. They can critique or quote what she said in the video. I'm not understanding if you don't like a person, if you feel like that person is trash, why watch their content? But what the beats have to understand, they're gonna have to understand either y'all going roast and gag, excuse me, or y'all going to or y'all gonna roast and gag and just go ahead and go back and forth with each other, or y'all gonna roast and gag and then go to the cops. I don't have no respect for a person that runs to the police when it comes to a YouTube matter, when it comes to you not getting the best of a YouTuber, so you're gonna run to the cops. I don't believe that we should be bringing police involved into YouTube, because when you bring the police involved in YouTube drama, you escalate the situation. We lost a person. We lost Sandra Bland, and she commit, the S word, I'm gonna say, in jail. We I don't like when people play around with cops, because when you do that, you it's very dangerous, because when you go on, I've seen people when they call 911 for people to have mental illness problems, and the person ended up dead. It was just a case, I forgot the man's name. The family called, it was a black gentleman. The family called 911, tried to get some treatment because he was having a mental health crisis, and the police shot and killed him. It was another incident where a situation came up in Mexico. I think a Latino person. She was having a mental health crisis. The police shot her. So don't play around when it comes to cops unless it's unless an emergency, unless you really need the cops. But playing around because this blogger did this, so you calling like, no, I don't play around with that, because when you playing around with the cops, you put your life and your colleagues' life in jeopardy. All right, comment below. Do y'all agree Treecey being in jail? Press 1 if y'all agree that she should be in jail. Press 2, no. Press 1 if y'all agree that she should have been in jail, arrested. Press 2, she should be free. She shouldn't have not been in jail. Press 1 if you agree that she should have been in jail. Press 2, she should have been free. Press 1 that you agree she should have been in jail. Press 2, she should be free. Let me know in the comment. So okay, people got their own thoughts here. All right, and of course we will open up the phone lines and we'll allow y'all to call in and give your thoughts. But again, to Treecey, um, I'm a fan of her work. Is Treecey perfect? No, Treecey is not perfect. But I also want to call out people calling CPS on people's children. You got to be very careful with that, because it's a law that if you are giving child protective services false reports, you can get yourself in trouble. So do not do that. Just get back to roasting and gagging. If you can't get into a good roast, can't handle it, then get out of the B sector. There's plenty other sectors. You got the sports sector, you got the entertainment sector, you got the cooking sector, you got you got the political sector. There's so many other sectors of YouTube you can go into without calling CPS, without calling the cops, without calling animal control, without calling any of these people. Thank you, Ms. Ryan, for $9.99. There's plenty of other sectors that you can go into. The reason why I left the B sector, I left it because I wanted to grow in other avenues, because I did enough in the B sector. I roast and gag with the best of them. I went toe to toe with the best of them, and I just wanted to do something different in my career. And that's why I decided to get out of it, because it's draining. It's the same folks, about 4 or 5 people that you arguing with. Some people even argue with one person, and I'll be like, how can I argue get into something else? So of course we will open up the phone lines. We'll allow you all to call in and to give your thoughts. But I do want to say I'm glad that Treecey is free. She had about 1,000 people on her chat. People were donating to tooth and nail. People was actually contributing to her show. So I love that. And I'm glad I'm out, because I think that's definitely not good that people are, calling the cops on them. I don't agree with that, because I don't like dealing with the 12. Dealing with the cops at all. You know what I'm saying? Just get into that. I just definitely don't like that at all. In my humble, gracious opinion, I just don't. But I just had to come out here and just stand up for my sister. We love her, we support her, and I don't know if she's gonna go to Lovely T get together, but we definitely will open up that door for her if she's going to that. I may even get a plane ticket and go just to take a picture with Treecey, because she's one of my favorite content creators, and we will stand by her 100%, and we love her. Do we agree with everything that she does? No, I don't agree with nobody 100%, but I am a fan of hers, been a fan of hers for years, and we're going to go ahead on with this show. All right. Thank you so very much. Okay. All right. So I don't know if we uh give me a second. Okay. So she contacted the police, and the police ran her name and arrested her for having um for having um um for having a warrant for her arrest. That's what happened. So she called the cops, and the cops, because she was going to report somebody. I don't know what happened. I got to talk to my sis about that. And they ran her name, and they found out she had a warrant, and they arrested her. But I just Ooh, that's so big tear up because I don't like people playing around with cops. You know what I'm saying? You should only need them in serious circumstances, not just playing around just the tip tap over YouTube. We just don't need to be playing around with that. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead on to the next subject here. And we definitely open up the phone lines. Yeah, we definitely open up the phone lines to let you call in. Thank you. So now this last topic. mm, Pastor John Gray and his wife. Well, Pastor John Gray is back in the news. I was watching. Somebody sent me the link to watch Tasha K live, and they said, "Wiley, you need to check it out. It's some tea about Pastor John Gray." And I'm like, "What happened? What's going on here?" So me, I did my due diligence. I watched Tasha K live .com, and she was doing a live, her and her husband, and she was talking about Pastor John Gray. Well, according to her, Chelsea, her employee, Chelsea, sent her a video of Pastor John Gray. Now, I can't play the video because the video is graphic, but I can describe it in the way that my mentor described that video. Well, John Gray was butt naked, and he pulled out his peen. This is on the FaceTime. They recorded it, and he was rubbing his hand on his peen, sending it to a woman. Now, according to Tasha K and her employee, that it wasn't a big peen, that the peen was not big, it was little. But according to Tasha K husband, um the peen, the husband said the peen wasn't on hard. According to Tasha K husband, he claimed that the peen wasn't on hard. So he was describing and saying that he wanted to fly this woman down to live in Georgia with him, that he want to give this woman money and all of this, sending the woman cash apps, and they were going back on the video. So obviously the lady recorded him on the FaceTime, either record him on the FaceTime, record these videos, and sent the videos to Tasha K employee Chelsea. Chelsea, in return, sent the videos to Tasha K. All right. So all the videos come through. So she contact Avatar or Avenger, whatever his wife. She Tasha K contacted Pastor John Gray's wife. And according to Tasha K, Pastor John Gray's wife said, "Oh my God, Tasha got to join my kids out of school. I can't talk right now." Then she originally get on the phone and was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not really." And then she was explaining to Tasha K how she's not giving her husband no punani, that her husband got a medical problem, and that can I talk to the woman and all of this. So, and then she gets on the phone with, now listen to me, she get on the phone with Dr. Larry D. Reed and Pastor John Gray. Now, according to Tasha, Dr. Larry D. Reed called her and said, Pastor John Gray want to speak to you on the phone. So she got on the phone with Pastor John Gray and Larry Reed on the phone. Okay? So Pastor John Gray was saying to Tasha, sis, I was touched. I was abused as a child. I was touched. I was abused. S word, I'm gonna say the S word. He was abused S words. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to keep it clean. And sister, don't judge me. I was abused as a child. And then Tasha was like, I can understand that. I feel like you're trying to manipulate the issue because I was abused as a child. Larry Reed was abused as a child. So all this stuff is going on. That doesn't excuse the fact that you are sending X-rated videos to your another mistress out there that's not your wife. So you hear all of this stuff that's going on, and my head is just spinning. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So Avatar, John Gray's wife, I'm gonna call her Avatar. She wanted to see the video. Come, you better come through. Wait. John Gray's wife, Miss Avatar, wanted to see the video. So, according to Tasha, she sent John Gray's wife the video of her husband playing with his soft, short peen. Okay. So, that... so that's going on. So she sent it to Pastor Great wife. So she's looking at the video. So she gets off the phone, and Tasha get a phone call from Pastor John Gray and his wife attorney. The attorney called Tasha and was like, how can we work this out? That the woman that you got the video for, she wants some money, and that's extortion. And then the lawyer told Tasha, well, you sent the video to my client, you broke the law. And Tasha was like, no, I did not break the law. Your client wanted me to send her the video, and I sent Miss Avatar the video. So you hear all of this, and I'm like, this is what I don't understand about these preachers that's doing this. If you're gonna cheat, why put this stuff on video? Why FaceTime? You know you're gonna get caught up. You know, because the woman was recording all his FaceTime videos, and she said that when he posted his wife on Instagram, she was upset, and I guess that triggered her to send it to Tasha K, employee Chelsea, to send it over there to Tasha K. Now, I don't know if Tasha K is going to interview the woman, but apparently Larry D. Reed and Tasha is going to break this story for people to understand out in the public. You know, they may do it. She's going to do it for Fuckery Friday. Dr. Larry Reed said he's going to break the story. According to Tasha, they're going to break the story today. And I knew I had to come first and break the story and get my thoughts, because by the time they break the story, I may be at work or I may be asleep. So I wanted to make sure that I break the story today. But I would like to say to Pastor John Gray and to his wife, it's just like, they don't understand. Pastors are held to a higher standard than regular people, even though they are a regular person. They're man themselves. But when you constantly keep breaking and committing acts that is ungodly, you make people do not want to run and follow God. Because a pastor, a man of God, supposed to be godly, supposed to be living up to the principles of Jesus Christ. But when you constantly get your peen in trouble, you need to sit on down somewhere and repent. You shouldn't be continued to be in the leadership of authority if you cannot stay committed to your wife. If you can't stay committed to your wife, you don't need to be pastoring people. You don't need to be ministering to people. You don't need to be prophesying to people if you cannot control your peen. If you can't control that peen, then you need to sit on down, because you ain't ready. That's what I'm not understanding. So apparently it's multiple videos of Pastor John Gray, multiple videos, and I do feel for his wife. But how many times are you going to be made to looking like a clown, staying with a man that can't control his pain? How? How can you stay with a man that can't even really get on hard, like, because according to Tasha K's husband, he wasn't even on hard like that. He can't. I don't know if he got a problem down there and he just obsessed to be with other women. It's very disturbing. So I don't. Tasha K cannot release the video. I would like to see the video myself, but she can't release it Give me a second. Let me double check. Let me check to see them been sent to my DM. Okay. All right. I'm just checking. So, but and now this woman, because you keep telling these women that they're going to be the first lady, they're going to be the new first lady, and when you say that, that makes them feel like you're going to leave your wife and they're going to be together. They're going to be the new first lady. And then when they go to your page, you post your wife on the page. So obviously you don't have no problems. But that video, I'm telling you, the people that's just joining it was a video of Pastor John Gray jerking his peen, playing with it. And the woman recorded multiple FaceTime videos. And she sent it to Tasha K employee Chelsea. Woke Tasha K up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, I got some tea or some wine of Pastor John Gray. Now, we reached out to Pastor John Gray, no response. We did send a detailed message to his wife, no response. We reached out to the church. We called, no response. So we would like to get a response to Pastor John Gray. Is this true or not? Because this did come from Unwild Tasha K. She is one of the trusted sources of information out there. But Larry Reed is another trusted source. That's seeing Dr. Larry D. Reed is another trusted source out there as well. And Larry D. Reed said he's not going to post anything unless it's public. Now it's public. Wiley talked about it. So let's see if Dr. Larry D. Reed going to cover this, because according to Tasha, Larry D. Reed was on the phone. And Larry D. Reed said, I look at you as baby Jakes. And Larry D. Reed was on the phone trying to, I guess, mentor or minister to John Gray. And then once they got off the phone, Larry D. Reed told Tasha, so when are we going to drop this story? He told Tasha, after he tried to minister to John Gray, he told Tasha K, so when are we going to drop this story? You better come through. If you believe that this is true, press 1. If you don't believe that this is true, press 2. If you believe that this is true, that John Gray have cheated with a video on his wife, press 1. If you don't believe this, press 2. Vote, vote, vote. Press 1 if you believe it. Press 2, you do not believe it. Press 1, you believe it. Press 2, you do not believe it. All right, but I definitely have to say about this. So let me text. I don't know why I'm giggly. But I'm just sitting here. I don't know why I'm giggly, but you already know Larry D. Reed is he breaks the tea. Because when you say messy, that's everybody don't like the word messy, but he breaks the tea. Now, Larry D. Reed, let me see if I can pull it up. And I can't play it because if I play it, they're gonna flag it. So I'm not gonna play it. Give me a sec, because I know some of y'all gonna be like, what you talking about? Larry D. Reed is give me a second here. Well, I can pull it up. Okay. Did y'all hear about the show? Speaking about Larry D. Reed, Kingdom Business. I would love to play like a snippet, but I can't because they will flag it. Kingdom Business. Did y'all know about that? Kingdom Business? It's a new show that's on there, and Larry D. Reed is in that show. And they've done an amazing job. They've done an amazing job by adding Larry D. Reed in the show, and his show, Larry D. Reed, Larry Reed Live. And so one of the episodes, Yolanda Adams' character, Yolanda Adams, she was like, why was Larry Reed here? Like, he wasn't here for my singing. That man get his bread and butter for that messy stuff. He's and if his something ain't right, Larry D. Reed will find it. So Larry D. Reed is in that show. And when I tell you it's on BT Plus, I watch all the episodes. It's good. It was what I mean, good. It's just good. All right. So Larry is very, very funny, and he's himself. He's Larry Reed. He's himself on the show. So hopefully tonight, you guys, y'all send it to Larry Reed, Dr. Larry Reed, about Pastor John Gray and stuff like that. But Larry D. Reed policy is, if it's not public, he's not going to talk about. Now it's public. I'm the first YouTuber that went live and talked about it, right? Tasha K talked about it on TashaKLive.com. But I'm talking about talking on a public platform where everybody can see that we went on and we talked about it. So it's public. So now I want to see what Larry Reed gonna say, because he gonna have some insight. I want to see what Tasha K gotta say, because she gonna have some insight. And her husband has something to say about this as well. He said that the peen was not on hard, it was soft. And Tasha K said, no, it's small. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what is what, because I haven't seen the video. Now, if she sent me the video, then I can give you a better description of the video. Because what I'm doing, I'm giving you a description off of Tasha K description. But if she sent me the video, I can be able to give you a play-by-play description of the video. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't send me the video. I got to give you all a description of her description of the video, if that makes sense. Okay? I got to give her I got to give my description of Tasha K description of the video. All right? So, I don't know if she can see the video. They say it's illegal. Well, I didn't see the video. I'm just giving a description off of somebody else's description. I didn't see no video. You can subpoena me. I don't have no videos that have been sent to me at all. No videos at all sent to me of Pastor John Gray. I didn't see any video of Pastor John Gray or his wife Avatar. I didn't see any video, right? So I don't have any video at all, right? But if it just so happened to creep in my phone, I will peek at it. If it just so happened to drop in my lap, I will peek and watch it, and I will break it down to you all on the show. But I will tell you, I did not get a chance to see the video. I don't have the footage at all. So if I do have it, I come with y'all with some more updated information. But I do not have this set up. Tasha K, the video, and Larry Reed was the call, but they didn't have you two expose it so Tasha K can bring it up on her live. No, she brought it up on TashaKLive.com. So one of my supporters already seen Tasha K live. They said, "Wow, you need to watch this live." And I said, "What's on it?" Well, it's exposing Pastor John Gray. So I immediately went on the live and I saw what Tasha K said. I went, "Oh, really? Oh, man. Really? I mean, really?" Okay, you can't get. They said don't let them get you in trouble. You can't get me in trouble because I didn't see the video. I'm just describing from somebody else's description on TashaKLive.com. I will say it again. I didn't see the video. Okay, I just described it that on somebody else's description. Okay. But I personally did not see the video. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I know it's early. If you got anything to say, we will open up these lines. And I'm going to be back live, because I know they're going to, if Tasha K do go live and talk about it, then I gotta go back live to tomorrow and talk about it. I usually go live on my lunch break, but sorry, my phone been acting up. Y'all say it sound like crickets, so I'm not gonna go live on my phone. Y'all just have to wait to the following day to get my commentary on that, because obviously, if there's smoke, there's fire. All right, so because Tasha K said she got multiple videos. She did send the video to the wife at the wife request, and then the wife, they got the lawyers and lied to the lawyers and trying to get Tasha K to not speak about this situation. Of course, I will contact the church and get the church representatives on, see what they have to say, and I will be I'll update on it as well. We don't know if this is true or not. I will say allegedly that Pastor John Gray was on a video, because we haven't. Hold on one second. We haven't seen the video ourselves, so I'm gonna just say allegedly. Right? We haven't seen Wiley win. Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire. Yes, I'm just telling y'all. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay. I'm just saying we definitely got to see about this. All right, so we're gonna open the phone lines. Moderators, if you can post the number 646-716-8447. I got the heat on, but I still got the sniffles.
Your show now, press 1.
Your show is scheduled to start in 23 seconds.
They said, yeah, let's see what the church need, a good laugh. Wiley wins this one. I know there's a click, but these type of folks are literally why I separate myself from the church.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, the phone lines is open. So if anybody want to call in, if you got some thoughts that you want to give about what we talked about, this is the time for you all to call in. If you don't agree with my commentary about Miss Treecey being out, you could definitely call in. If you don't agree with my commentary on Pastor John Gray and his wife, you could definitely call in. Good morning, Anonymous. Good morning.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. Hold on 1 second. Let me reboot it. He can't hear me. Hold on. Tell him to hold on 1 second. Because usually I haven't used. It's been a while since I used the phone lines. So y'all bear with me. The number is 646-716-8447. Because I think it's not working. Give me a second. Let me redo it.
Your show now, press 1.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay, we back. All right, 0235. Can you hear me?
Wiley?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, I want to talk about the school shooting in Texas. Listen, I think it's ridiculous that this is still happening, and this is all on the governor. Like, seriously, no background checks. People can get a gun that easily in Texas. Are you serious? And I thought that we solved this whole problem with security officers at the school when that shooting happened in Parkland in Florida. Like a guy lost his daughter and he went to DC to talk to the president, Trump at the time, to ask for funding for security officers at schools. And it's crazy that there was no officer there. It just shows how much funding goes into schools, how little funding goes into schools. It's just crazy to me, and it's just ridiculous. Like, do we really need rifles, weapons of war, assault rifles? Like, I can understand having a handgun and maybe a shotgun for protection, but assault rifles, that seems a little bit too far to me.
I feel you on that. We thank you so very much for calling in.
Well, hold on. I just want to talk about Treecey for a second. Listen, Wiley, she called the police on her. That was just so funny to me. Like how she called the police on herself, knowing that she had warrants. She sounds goofy, man. She initially waited the cops out. She was ignoring the man because the man called the cops as well, and she just ignored them. And then it suddenly, because I guess from my understanding, the guy was still there, and an hour later, and she called the cops. Like, what was she expecting? She brought that on herself. Like, make it make sense.
I just want to know because it took a while to get out, and wow, like that's something when you call the cops and they say you got a warrant, you get thrown in jail. Like, wow, I've never seen that before. I've know it happened to people, but that's like, wow, like you call the cops, you reporting somebody, and you wound up getting arrested because you have a warrant, right? Obviously, she got out, so she must have the bail money because she did get out, or because I don't know if they let her out without a bail. I don't know anything about that. Did you know, did she get out on a bail or did she have to pay a bail?
I can't speak on that. I don't know.
Okay, because
my issue is this:
mm-hmm.
she was ignoring the cops. She knew she had warrants, but why would she even call the cops anyway? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, it was only $150. Oh, that wasn't bad. That ain't nothing. Okay. That was only $150. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for so much for calling in. Thank you. Okay. Anonymous, you live on air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Wiley. We missed you, but back to Treecey. Her bail is initially $1,500, but if you're from where she is, you could pay $150. So what happened was, because I was in the bushes, don't quote me word for word. So basically, she wasn't able to use the phone to call the bail's bondsman because the girls in there was acting up. So, the police, the COs had to shut it down for the day. So she had to wait, I think the next day or the 2 days after that. So she ended up calling, to try to have the bail bondman come because her credit card that her friend sent her money on was locked up in her property. So she had to call for him to come and go on her property and get the card and then charge her card the 150 girls.
Wow. Okay.
So he could bond her out. So,
and you can do that? You can do that? I didn't know you could do that. Wow.
Yeah, you can bail yourself out.
Okay.
Because if you have your card on and in a property, you just have to sign somebody over to pick up your property.
See, that's why you have to have stuff on a piece of paper or something too, just in case, for people out there.
Yeah.
You have your information. Sometimes a cop, like I remember when I was in jail. No, they allow me to write down my information on a piece of paper. So for like your card information, if you wanted to get like.
But when you say information, are you talking about cell phone or just like?
No,
like phone numbers, because we don't really know people's phone numbers nowadays.
No, like to write down the people, like to write down the people's phone numbers, and then people was writing down their card number too. So just in case, if they paying over the phone, they can have information on the piece of paper. But I remember that because I was writing down so many people's numbers on my paper because I didn't know who to call or what. And I had called my cousin, and he bailed me out. But yeah, I didn't know it was 150. That ain't bad. That wasn't nothing.
Yeah, and they was trying to read Brother Jay Wilson because he lived by her, and it's 150 for him being that he lived by her and he didn't go bail her out.
Wow,
it was a big thing with that. But I mean, who I don't know would you have bailed her out if you?
I would have if I would have known if I was like right by her and something. Of course, I would have bailed her out. But I don't have Treecey like information.
It wasn't necessarily your money because the fans was trying to send him the money, so it wasn't his money.
Right. I don't know why he didn't do it. He should have. He should have done it because I would want somebody to help to bail me out. And stuff like, especially if it's 150. If I would have known, because when I heard information, I was busy working. Like I'm working, so I'm getting bits and pieces of this. Because I was hearing somebody said 1,000, somebody said 5,000. They was giving me all these different amounts. Like, but how much is her bail? And I can't I don't know any of her moderators to contact them and say, okay, let's try to get her out. I don't have any of that information. You know, I'm out of that big sector. So hearing this is just all new. I just heard the news that she was arrested. And I was like, oh my God, it hurt me. Because I'm like, I'm already grieving over Buffalo, grieving what happened in Texas. And now Treecey in jail, this is too much. But I'm glad that she's out, though. I'm really glad that she's out.
I'm glad as well, but she says she's not going to stop. But my understanding is, if once you come out on bail, don't they give you like strict rules?
It's some instructions they give you. It all, whether you listen to them or not, they give you.
Wouldn't it be like an order protection?
I don't know.
Like,
I can't speak. I don't know. Maybe they just gave a bail to say, hey, just bail out.
You can't talk about the person third party through the net or whatever.
I don't know if she had
about him yesterday, so I don't know what rules it was.
Because if I was her, I wouldn't talk about him at all. That would be me. Because until that case get resolved, because you don't want to get yourself locked back up. Right. And so she's gonna have to learn that, like,
they could use that against you again
absolutely.
On the 31st when you go back to court, even though he said he's gonna drop the case, or he did drop the case, but it's not up to him.
It's not up to the state's attorney.
Am I right?
Absolutely, it's up to the state's attorney. It's already done. Whether he can say all day, hey, I'm gonna drop him, but it you already been arrested. You already got to go to a court date. It's up to the prosecutors right now. It's in the prosecutor hands right now. So we So Treecey is a person in the big sector. Many of y'all don't know her. If y'all follow, I don't even know if she's still on Lovely T in part of Lovely T camp, because she used to moderate for Lovely T for years.
I haven't seen her over there in a while, but I haven't been on Lovely T in a while as well.
Okay.
Because she just come on once a month to my understand what I see. She only come on once in a month to get that YouTube check when she knows going to kick it, because she came on yesterday, but I haven't seen her in a while.
Okay. All right. Well,
She's not a regular on YouTube anymore. But I also want to say real quick about Tasha K. I believe it.
All right.
I believe it. And then they try to flip it and turn it on Tasha K with the lawyer.
Right.
She sent porn out when the wife asked for it. How dare them?
But you know, trust me, they would try to set you up. I'm just going to be here for Larry Reed responds if he responds. Tasha K have already made it public because
him to respond, so
she put this on TashaKLive.com, so it's already public. Whether you have to pay for the subscription or not, it's public. So I want to say, is she going to respond to this tonight? So we will.
This is right down his alley. The church folk.
This is right down his alley.
Dr. Larry Reed alley.
Absolutely.
So we have to talk about it.
Absolutely. Most definitely.
Thank you, Wally. Going back in the bush.
All right. Thank you so very much, Icon, for calling in. All right. 8018. Good morning.
Good morning, Wiley. Good morning, producers. Wiley, I just want to welcome you back. We missed you, first of all, and we love you. And the second thing that I want to say is I want to send prayers and love out to the people in Texas. It's heartbreaking, and it continues to happen over and over again. I was listening to CNN this morning, and there was another shooting that happened some years ago where another teacher with some students was murdered, and her daughter came on. And they asked her, do you believe that teachers need to be armed? Because the NRA is trying to go that way. You know, Republicans and the NRA, they're trying to go in that direction. And she said out of her own mouth, no. Her father was also an officer, and her father went to the school where her mother was murdered by a gunman. I got to get the state. I'll go back online and find out where this was. And the gunman killed the children. He killed, I think it was one or two teachers. But when the father went in, that happened some years ago. He stated that he's still having issues coping. He said all he thinks about is how he had to step over bodies of children. If you have someone, an officer, and you have the actual daughter of one of the victims, has stated, guns are not the answer in the school. It's not the answer giving teachers, arming them, because it's all kinds of things, classes that they need to take. It's a lot, and they have enough dealing with children. I know in DC alone, when I was in Southeast, they actually, the schools, when when I think this was like 3 years ago, they wanted officers out of the schools. And so we had to patrol outside of the school. And what they would do is they would call 911 because they told them, well, you don't want them in the schools. So now we need you, don't call them directly, call 911. So they would call 911 and we would tell them, you do know if we were here, like we were, especially in the high schools, middle schools and high schools, a lot of this we could contain because it wasn't just one or two of us assigned to a school. It was like 5 or 6. 1 or 2 isn't going to cut it, not today. But when you have that many officers assigned to a school, no, you can't alleviate everything, but it can help to bring things down, okay? And planning something like that is a little bit harder when you have officers in the schools to do that than outside. And I do believe at that school, they might have had, I believe it was 1 officer assigned. I think in Texas and Florida, I could be wrong, and the chat could correct me. I think it's like 1 or 2 officers assigned to schools. But DC alone, we were like 5 and 6 because we knew what we were dealing with, But everyone has to be on board with this. It isn't anyone's fault. I'm not saying that it is like I said in the chat, I do go to gun shows. I do. I have a weapon because of my previous job. That is one of the perks, honestly, that I'm allowed to still carry to this day. But everyone isn't in that position. And I'm not saying that Republicans, they don't have the answer. Democrats don't have the answer. But I do believe that if we all come together, collectively, there is an answer within everybody. We can all piggyback off of everyone. But you have Republicans and Democrats fighting against each other. That's not going to solve the problem. It's going to continue to happen. And if you notice, it's happening more and more and more.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to be afraid. And I'm sure to check and say, sending your kids to school, it's scary because you don't know. It happens in middle class, high class, poor. It does not matter. And elementary, I mean, this broke my heart because it keeps happening and they're targeting them smaller and smaller and smaller. And the last thing is his mother she went online and posted that he was bullied in school. That, I don't want to sound insensitive. Let me keep that thought to myself. That doesn't justify what he did. It does not justify what he did. It doesn't justify it. That's all. This is a very touchy topic, and you cried. I think all of us cried because they are getting younger. They're getting younger, and these gunmen are targeting children, no matter what race, at younger ages. First, it was high school. They're going down slowly. I mean, those little kids didn't bully you. They didn't bully you. They didn't know you. And I heard that he was just able to walk into the school.
Yeah, that's what I heard
That's
too.
all I wanted to say.
He shot his grandmother,
touchy,
and then he went inside of school, did what he did. But Canada doesn't have this problem. Other major developing countries do not have this problem. And the common denominator is we are obsessed in this country with guns. And I will agree with a lot of people say a lot of Republicans are slaves to the NRA because they know if I vote for some gun control in the next election, they're going to get a candidate, they're going to back this other candidate, and I'm going to lose my job. So I'm just going to be a slave to the NRA. And I'm not understanding. And you're going to continue to have these. It's going to continue to happen over and over and over again. Because if you do not learn from this and actually ban assault rifles, increasing age, background checks. Like I didn't even know, like in Texas, first it was 21 to own a gun, but now they put it to 18. And I'm like, wow. So
I didn't know that either, Wiley.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
And I'm like,
You know,
what?
I think that's insane. 18, you're really just getting out of high school. Your mind isn't even, you know, you haven't, your brain cells are running wild, you know. What the hell? I mean, to sell someone he didn't just have one weapon. I believe he had two.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we thank you so very much for calling in.
Thank you, Wiley.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Wow. Okay. 9867, you live on air.
Hey, Wiley and Chat.
Hey.
How are you doing? This is the voice from New York. Hi, Chat. But yeah, Wiley. So I'm just going to talk about the incident that happened in Texas. Firstly, Wiley, I don't remember you talking about the incident that happened in Buffalo. Did you talk about that?
I believe I did talk about it, if I'm not mistaken. I believe if it wasn't on here, it was on station. Yeah.
I feel like, you know, the Buffalo incidents just still happen, and it's unfortunate. And the Will Smith and Chris Rock debacle was in the news longer than what occurred in Buffalo, New York, with everyone that got shot. It's strange of what America paid their attention to. Now, unfortunately, my heart's gone out to everyone in Texas of what happened and what occurred. I'm still not clear of the details because from what I've heard, he, you know, shot his grandma and then he left. And his grandma, they say his grandma passed away, but his grandma ended up surviving. She called the cops and his car crashed. And then he was able to just walk in miraculously into a school with two guns. I guess that little piece is what is very bothersome because how can someone just get out a car and you see two big guns on them and you're able to walk casually into a school? And anytime you go to a school, even in New York, you know, there's like people in front to say, hey, where you going? So it's kind of like, so they just ran out and then just let him just terrorize the school. Like, did he just go into the classroom and just start, you know, letting loose and no one said anything? No cops, no security guards, nothing. I mean, that's very disheartening because you see him coming. And then before you get out the car, you be like, yo, there's someone coming in with a gun. You're not going to call the police. Like, I feel like even the details of how he went down, what occurred, is still kind of mixy, and it doesn't make sense to me as someone who's listening to the story, because it's kind of like, how can someone just blatantly walk into a school that has no children there, you see their gun? It's not like Bowling for Columbine, right, where they hid their guns, right? Or what happened at, like, this person, you see him walking in with the device like he's John Wick, and you're not going to do nothing. What's even more disheartening is that one of the little girls, she decided to rub blood on her clothes from her classmate so that she could be hidden, so that he wouldn't kill her as well. I don't know anyone know that piece of that story. With that said, gun restriction needs to happen. Now, mind you, Wally, this happens all the time, every day in the hood, right? Like every day there's someone getting shot in Chicago. Every day someone's getting shot in New York, and young kids are dying all the time. Okay, so this is nothing new. It's just that this is something that's a mass shooting, and unfortunately, this happened at a school. Just like 2-3 weeks ago, it happened at the grocery store. Just like the other time it happened in California, it happened at a church. Like, all these things keep happening, and I think they're going to utilize this story, especially because the guy is Mexican, to emphasize more control on the borders. And it's like, but he wasn't. Who said he was illegal, right? So that's what's happening right now. That's what the Republicans going to use. You know, we need to make sure we have tighter control of the borders, you know, because we have these, you know, Mexicans coming in that's causing havoc, but not realizing that most mass shooting happens because of white men, right? Unstable white men. Like, look what happened to theaters in Colorado when the person pretended like he wanted to be the Joker. But no one talks about that. Now, as far as stricter gun laws, you mentioned Canada. You know, Canada had a mass shooting in 1989 at an engineering school where 14 students passed away. And that's what really forced them to be very compliant and have stricter gun laws. You also mentioned Japan. Japan has one of the most best gun laws and low crime rate. Why? Because not only you have to like register your gun and go through master's training, but you need a psychological test. And I feel like, and of course, there's different tiers of what you can buy as someone who's like a regular Joe Schmo. It shouldn't be easily accessible for you to just get a gun like that, especially if there's so many people who are mentally unstable. And this is another thing. I hate when they use this mentally unstable thing, because some people, like this guy, intentionally did it. he reached out to a girl on social media. That's another thing, Wally. We got called that girl that he reached out to and act like he was playing a game. Didn't he DM someone randomly and say he's about to be ready? And so he just sat there. I was like, yo, who is this? Hello, report to Instagram. Like, so honestly, I know she feels guilty of what happened. She should, because she didn't do her due diligence to even speak out. If someone randomly say, yo, New York, I'm about to blow this up, I'm like, nah, bro, because I don't want, because you know, social media will find you. I don't want to feel like my hands are dirty. I was like, police, someone is harassing me. I will report it to Instagram. You think it's a joke, right? He definitely wrote a manifesto, and that could have been prevented had you had done your due diligence. So again, I think America has become desensitized. And that's what's going to happen to these young kids. You know, when you see these things happening, you bringing guns into the school, it's kind of like, yo, like, it's like a cycle. And it's something that was posted Wiley recently that I find it very interesting. It was like a little cycle stuff dealing with mass shooting, and how it went is you had the mass shooting, then you had the media extravagance, right? Like, oh my God. Then you had the thoughts and prayers. Always happens. Then you had the social media gun debates, right? Like, we're doing more work than the people that we are voting and elected. Now, you must understand, most people who want the gun control are NRA. NRA has a big portion of, like, lobbying. Okay, they have the money, and it's mostly middle America in which they want the gun control, which is they don't want the gun control. After we have the social media gun debate, no one actually does anything. This is just like, we do this all the time. Okay, the first thing I remember from mass gun shooting was Columbine. Okay, that's like back in Colorado. We'll tell you how old I am. And then everything just keeps happening, and so it's like, yo, like, this will never be resolved. Columbine happened so far ago. It's been like Sandy Hook is 10 years, and we still talking about the same thing. No one is doing anything. After no one actually does anything, right? We have everyone start making think pieces in our community. Then we go back to normal, right? That's what we always do. We go back to normal. The culprit never gets go to jail. They use all the mentally unstable, and that's offensive to those who are actually mentally challenged. Okay, let's be clear. There's a difference to those who are mentally ill, that they can't help it, compared to those who are intentionally doing harm and then trying to hide under the guise of being mentally unstable. That would be offensive to me. Okay, I'm not mentally unstable, but that's offensive, because there are people who, if you are mentally unstable, you probably won't get a gun. Like, let's be clear. If they do the medical history, you won't be allowed to get a gun. But to hide it under, to say, oh, the person was bullied. Okay, and then kill yourself. Don't kill innocent people. If you really that bully, do what you got to do, but don't go in there and terrorize folks. You know what this does, Wally? It mostly motivates people to get famous. Like, this is where it's gonna come to. Everyone wants to live a living legacy. Look what happened with that black guy at the train in New York, who was trying to, with the little mask, and then he purposely got caught. Like, that's the world we're living in, that people prefer to have their name lived on in history compared to, because that's what's happening. Like, we're going to remember this person. So he'd rather go out with a bang. Just like, I don't know if people remember Timothy McVeigh when he unfortunately bombed the schools a couple of years back. Everyone's going to remember those who done harm, but no one's going to remember the victims that actually was affected by it, or the family members, which is very unfortunate. So like you mentioned, Molly, people need to vote. Vote as your life depend on it. 34 senators are up for seats. But as you know, as always, they're going to pacify us, and people are going to be like walking around, and everyone will forget about this next 2-3 days, or next 2-3 weeks. It's going to be under the rug, and we're just going to go talk about, like, oh, how things are happening, what we need to do. You know how it goes, Wally. That's how it always goes. It's nothing's going to change.
All right.
Nothing's going to change, But thank you so much, Wally, for highlighting this.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay. Wow. It's just a good conversation that we have. People send y'all donations in, because this video will not be monetized, because this is a tough subject that will not be monetized. So make sure y'all hit the Cash App, $ Marquise Wally 28, or you can send a super chat, because this video will not be monetized. I had to talk about it because it was definitely something that I was affected by. just by watching the news, and I had to turn off CNN because it was just it was unbearable to continue to watch what happened on in Buffalo. Now back here in Uvalde, Texas, and then you got the countless shootings that's going on in Chicago. It's just a lot. So I kind of like, let me stop watching the news. But I do have some news here that Governor Abbott will not be attending the NRA. He will not be attending the NRA. Governor Greg Abbott will not be attending NRA conviction in Houston. He will just do a pre-recorded video. President Donald Trump will speak at the NRA. Senator Ted Cruz will be speaking. Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson of North Dakota will be speaking. Two top NRA officials will be speaking. An executive director of NRA Institution will be speaking as well. So again, Thursday, Governor Abbott council plans to attend and will instead address the conference in a pre-recorded remarks while he turns to Uvalde, Texas. This is really, really something. All right, thank y'all so very much for tuning in. If you all want to be notified when I go live, you can text Wiley to 888-534-4939. You will never miss, and it's free to do, you guys. It's free. It is free to do. So if you are not getting your notifications, I'm gonna put it on the screen for a second. There you go. And there you go. If you have not getting your notifications, you will be notified when I go live. Yes, it's 11:11. So wait, you're sending you $11.11. Thank you. Okay, because this video will not be monetized, unfortunately, when you talk about these tough subjects like this. All right, thank you all so very much. It was good to be here. I'm wondering, will the school properly staffed? I'm looking at the school and having enough security, and I think they say he went in the back door. And of course, we would give y'all more information as I get it and bring it to y'all as well. But it's really sad, man. Really, really sad. So thank you all so very much for tuning in. I will see y'all in the next live. Make sure y'all sign up on the text list. Give me a second, because when I go live, you do not want to miss when I go live. 1642, caller, you're on air.
Hey, Wiley. So I just wanted to add some additional details in regards to the shooting here in Texas. So I don't know if anybody's aware, but like the police officers that were responding, some of them went in, grabbed their own children, and left. Took them to safety while there was still an active shooter. And also the police that were monitoring the outside of the building, or the perimeter, they were like barricading the parents from going in and like trying to save their children. It was like, there's a video, like you could hear the shots, and the parents are trying to go in and do what they can to try to save their kids, and the police are pulling their guns out on them and just telling them to get back. And like the people that are supposed to protect and serve us, our tax money goes to, they're going in and they're pulling out their own children, and then they're going to safety. I think that's,
well, I don't know if that's true. I know I'm hearing a lot of stuff, because I believe they said they tased one parent, and they put one parent in handcuffs because they tried to go inside the building and rescue their kids. I did hear that. Of course, we hearing a lot of rumors and speculation was going on about that. But what we do know now,
this is definitely confirmed, because like the reporter was doing an interview with the chief police in that city, and you can tell that he made a slip. He didn't mean to say it, but yeah, I watched it on Conscious TV yesterday. But so it's out there. I can try to find you the clip and then actually send it to you.
Yeah.
That way you have the receipt.
Okay.
But it's just I just want people to like to realize like where we're at in this country. Like the people that are supposed to protect and serve us are doing the opposite. You know, and like it took Border Patrol to come in and kill the guy. Like our own police station. I mean, the police didn't do it. So also, what are the other topics? Oh yeah, Larry Reed, man. Larry Reed, like he is the center of so many different controversies. Like in regards to Kerrion Franklin, he was supposed to bail him out, and also, remember when he tried to put the blame on you for that whole exposing Armand not getting paid from Jason Lee?
Well,
and like you still defend him. It's mind-boggling.
What I think I can say that me and Larry, we talked about that, and he definitely came on the show, and we squashed it. And we did squash it because he did come on the show, and he did squash it. But Larry is an entertainer. He is a commentator. He's going to break down the news, and so he did say it wasn't my fault with the text message situation, and we know that. And so we definitely want to send him love. We cool with Larry Reed. We cool with Conscious. We cool with them over there and everything like that. But I want to know, is Larry Reed going to talk about Pastor John Gray and his wife, Miss Avatar?
Yeah,
is they're going to have that conversation?
He definitely is, because it's a come up, and also about that woman that you were asking us about, the one that got arrested, right? Like you said that you would bail her out.
If it was $150, of course I would have paid that, most definitely.
I mean, if it's only $150, then why can't she pay it?
She did bail herself out because she was able to get the car. She did bail. Yeah.
But like, the reason I bring that up is because had you let's say you had paid the bail for her, you posted the bail, she didn't wait any time in jail. Like, what is she learning in that situation? If you're just doing it
I just didn't want to see her. I just didn't want to see her in jail because I don't think she committed any crime. She's just a YouTuber. Only thing she does is do content. So I don't see her committing any crime. It just will be a miscarriage of justice to see her locked up in a cell.
No, she did a crime. It resulted in a warrant.
Okay, I don't believe that. Many people get warrants for a whole lot of things and they didn't commit nothing, and they just get stuff. I just didn't agree with that as well. So
like what is
no. What I'm saying is I just didn't agree with it at all. That's just my humble opinion. But that's it.
The reason I'm looking out for you. Like, I wouldn't want you to be put in a situation where you shell out money for somebody and like they're not doing anything to help themselves. Like, my mom always says there's a difference between help and a handout. Like, help implies that this person has done everything that they can to get out of their situation. A handout is you just handing out the money. Like, I'll help someone in a heartbeat, but I'll also evaluate, okay, what has this person done? Have they mowed lawns? Have they done everything that they could to try to get out of their situation? Or am I just handing out the money because they're asking? And that's where my line in the sand is. But
okay. All right. Thank you so very much. Thoughts. Thank you so very much for calling in.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. 9867.
Yes, hello, Wiley. I just put in just to make this last comment. Wiley, I guess the previous caller mentioned that some cops, I don't know how true it is, went into saving their children and left the others. And my question to you, Wiley, is would you have done something similar? Like, let's say there's like a mass shooting and you have your kids or anything of that nature. Would you go back and save the other children? Or would you just continue to save your kids?
I would save the other child. I would try to neutralize the threat. That's what I would do. I would depend on my training. I wouldn't dare try to just go in and get my own children. I'm a police officer first, and I would definitely neutralize the attack, neutralize the suspect, most definitely. if I was in that particular.
Okay,
I don't even want to
a little bit too
imagine
much of that.
being in there. I don't believe officers went in there and just got their children left others. I definitely don't believe that. I think that's just a rumor. Because I didn't read any of that, any of the press conference that I watched, any of the news stuff I read. I didn't read anything where police officers was getting their own children and leaving other ones to fend for themselves. I definitely don't believe that because that don't make sense to me.
Okay, because you were stuttering a little bit too much. You see, so have you ever been in a shootout before? Like,
No,
have you ever
I
been,
and I don't want to be in one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, the reason why I asked is because I remember when I was like around 8 or 9, and we had Juve, which is like the day before Labor Day parade. It's very big in New York, and I was like 8 or 9 years old, and people were shooting. I literally forgot my sister. I was running. She's a year younger than me. I was running. I forgot her. And I had to go back and get her. So I'm saying this, when you're in a flight or flight response, your thoughts are not there. Especially, it's different when you hear about shootings, but when you're actually in it, it's a whole different story. So people will say what they think they're going to do, right? It's kind of like, when you're on a plane, they always tell you what to do before the plane starts to descend. God forbid the plane starts to descend. To put your mask on first before anyone else. You see, when you're in that situation, every thought that you think you're going to do, your mind is not even there. So people will always say, yeah, I will go and save the other children. I will go. You wouldn't. You know what you're going to do? The first thing you're going to do is survival of the fittest to take your child, which is unfortunate because you're not trying to get shot. And you're trying to.
I don't necessarily believe that because if you're in the building, if it's active shooter and you're trying to just find your own children, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I have to see some evidence on that.
Well, most people will say they wouldn't until they're in the situation.
Okay, I will have to see more evidence of that. That just don't make any sense. I haven't read anywhere.
I mean, of course, I think the police should have done it, right?
Right. I don't believe that doesn't make any sense for a police officer to go in there, look for their own. It's an active shooter in that, by the way. Oh, I'm just gonna go and get my own children, leave y'all to fend for yourself. I just don't believe that. Yeah, I will have to see more evidence on that. I didn't read any newspaper.
I'm just saying people will say. I think when you're in that situation, all your right thoughts of mind, because you got to assess how far is the other children? How far is the other children compared to where your child is? Where is the active shooter? You don't know where he's located, right? So anytime, it's same thing with fire. There's certain protocols that you do that you can only save those that surround you. If the other children is someplace else and you want to go back, you can't. Sometimes you can't, depending on where the person is located. And then next thing you know, you don't know, and then that's something that's even more terrible. There's like certain protocols. Should everyone be safe? Absolutely. But I do think people will say things until they're in a situation, and then all their senses go out the window. And I hope that's not true of the cop going to save their own child and leave the others behind.
I don't believe it. I believe that's just a rumor because no other news talked about that. That's just a rumor on social media that somebody drugged up. But we will. I do believe a lot of.
Grimy, though.
I understand that, but I don't believe that. That just don't make any sense.
I don't know.
That don't make no sense. The officer gonna go in and get. Oh, you know where your kids at in the school, but I'm gonna rescue mine first. Daily, I just don't believe it. Show me the show.
After you hear the other kids crying
and show me the kid. Show me the officer. Show me his kids that he rescued, and then I can believe it. But right now, just a rumor. I don't believe it at all. I think that's just a rumor people put out because I think a lot of parents were upset and they don't understand you just can't rush into school. You got to have technical people. It's a whole thing that you have to go through, but I am praying for the victims. I do believe that we need to study this and all of it and understand what can we do to protect our children. I do believe we need to study this problem and hopefully and pray that our politicians do right. And if they don't do it, vote them out and get new people in office that we're willing to take on the NRA and say, hey, I'm going to vote for some gun control laws and we need this in our country. So that's what I hope that the politicians do. But if you don't do it, it's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen.
I agree, but NRA has money.
I know they have a lot of money.
A lot.
They
have a lot. And NRA is mostly run by white men.
Absolutely.
They ain't gonna let that happen. Okay.
Absolutely.
So NRA has the Republicans and have the government officials in their pocket. So because they have big lobbying, like people who are anti-gun laws need to have a big lobby too. Because if you fight against the NRA, you're not gonna win, realistically. And that's unfortunate. But they're gonna be like, okay, this is why we should have guns so that we can protect our children. That's what they're gonna spin it. They're gonna be
All
like,
right.
you know, if we have guns and we arm these teachers, then we could prevent this from happening. If we give more guns to students or let them learn how to shoot, we could prevent this from happening. You know, that's how they think. They think very
All right.
backwards.
All right. Thank you.
But yeah.
Thank
Thank you so much, Wiley.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay. 0235, calling on air.
Well, I just had to call out Voice in New York for a second. Listen, the problem is not that they were just being cowards. I do believe that story. I really do believe that story that they just tried to save their own kids. Because if you're a parent, if you have a child, you would be very, very aware that their life can be in danger. I definitely do believe it. It's ridiculous. And the problem is that they had assault rifles. They have the same exact weapons that the shooter had. And there was like 20 of them. They couldn't make a quick tactical decision to go in there and take him down. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why were you so focused? There was 20 of you. You could have saved at least maybe like 5 people to go into that school and try to stop him. But no, all of you were concerned about the parents. Like, make it make sense. It just shows how much of cowards they are. They had body armor. They had assault rifles, the same exact kind of assault rifles. They're just cowards.
All right. Thank you so much.
That's all I got to say.
Thank you so very much for calling in. Thank y'all so very much for calling in. We definitely are sending our prayers. Thank you all for calling in. Make sure y'all send us a DM. You all wanted me to talk about Treecey, so we talked about her. So make sure y'all send us a DM or what y'all want us to talk about. We will be back live soon. I'm not gonna give you a date. Just sign up on the text list so when I go live, you can be notified. I can't go live on my lunch break because my phone is messed up. It's staticky. Y'all can't hear it. So on my lunch break, I go live on Station Head. So on my lunch break, we'll go live on Station Head and talk to y'all on Station Head. So I don't have to send a notification on for that. That's you do that. But we thank y'all so very much. We will see y'all in the next live. Peace.